How many of these do you have to do?
One a week, but I was behind, so if I do both of these, then I'm like caught up. And then I think I have like you have to do an evaluation.
Okay.
I think
I need to figure out.
coming up.
I'll figure that out tomorrow.
Yeah, it's like this way. It's this week, like on the schedule, but I'm allowed to be like within four weeks. But I just want to like not be behind anymore. I've kind of
I'll like, because they're testing tomorrow, I'll like
yeah.
look at it, like figure out how to log in and do it. Cool. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. So today's class we talked about Roosevelt corollary and the Mexican Revolution or Woodrow Wilson. The class that I videotaped, there were definitely some challenges because our normal classroom got changed.
Yeah.
So we were, when I arrived to class, just setting up all the material, I was a little disoriented, and then
the seating, like we had to make sure the kids were
the
seated
seating
correctly.
chart was, or like, the seating was different. And plus the kids, like, as you were saying, they came from like a difficult Spanish class earlier, so we had some kids that were a little hyper.
More like emotional turmoil.
Yeah.
They're so frustrated with their last class, yeah.
And I know, it's the last day before a unit test, so there's a lot of kind of, I think, tension in the air because the kids, they have a test tomorrow. But I mean, that being said, I felt like it went pretty well.
Yeah.
I mean, like there was a good discussion going, and tried to dumb it down. I mean, I know my first class of the day, like sort of trial and error. I went in detail about the Mexican Revolution, which we discussed was not a good idea because it was a little bit off topic and they didn't need to know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, definitely from the first period class to the third period, like I like how you reflected and changed like what you did with that, because it wasn't like the kids were kind of like losing it. They weren't focused because they're like, I don't get what this has to do with what we're learning. But I liked when you like wrote, like you did that chart on the board. I think that really helped kind of focus the kids on what we were learning, what the main points that we were learning. I'm just trying to think. That class is also a little bit challenging because if you notice what I did with Noah. He like couldn't be in the class, so I tried to like.
Yeah, that was another thing because I mean I know Noah has some issues, so I didn't want to say anything to him because I didn't think that would help at all. Nope. So like he's like getting up, walking around, walking in and out of the room, and it's sort of like I don't know, like should I say something? I mean the other kids shouldn't.
No, you shouldn't say anything. Because he is very volatile, and no matter what you say won't change what he does, because he's like diagnosed operational defiance. So he followed his procedure that he was supposed to follow. He was just doing it through me because he feels more comfortable with me. He went to the learning specialist, talked to her, and then came back, and we came up with a plan about how he could like get credit for the day without being in the classroom, because he knew emotionally he couldn't handle being in the class.
Yeah. Which
is like huge steps for him. So it was good that you didn't.
Yeah, at least he recognized.
Yeah. It was good that you didn't say anything to him, because it would have been not good, I think. Because he was trying to like be good about it.
Some other people like Nell, she's bouncing off the wall today. She came in just giggling, and then it was like she had to go.
It's the first time she's ever had a note home to her parent. So she. From the Spanish class. That's why she was laughing so much.
I thought it was funny.
Yeah, she thinks it was ridiculous what happened. Yeah, I think that, I think if we could focus, I liked what, you did at the end of that lesson, because you kind of opened it up for, discussion more, and I think we could start working on doing that. I think that will help, every couple sides, maybe ask a question where they could respond, so that helps them be more actively involved in the lesson and not as passive, just writing the notes.
Yeah. I feel like some of the classroom activities, I've tried to think of things that are creative, but when just handing them an activity, even if you explain it, when sometimes just with the classroom dynamics, it's sort of everyone loses focus. So maybe
incorporate some of those like questions in the lesson, and then that will bring them more focus in the lesson and also like more actively involved and less passive. I think that would be really good.
Yeah. Because I worry about like keeping their attention the whole time and like not having the last 5 minutes to turn into like screaming and worrying about the next class and whatever.
Yeah, so maybe like we can start doing that, and it could be focused on their worksheet too. Like, we tried to do that a little bit today, but I don't know. How did you feel like the activity went?
I think it went well. Yeah. I mean, it's hard to know because it seemed like it went well, but it was the same people that were speaking, so it's hard to know whether every single person in the class like was on the same page.
And that's something we could do too, where we could like make like note cards or like they call it equity sticks, where you can like just randomly pull kids' names. We could start doing that if that's something that you would want to do. I could incorporate it in my lessons too, so like I can introduce it in my lessons, and then you can just do it too. I wonder. I've just never done them, so.
No, I mean,
but I think it would be good. It would be good, and it's good. It would be good if we did. So we could start maybe next unit using equity sticks.
Cool.
Anything else?
No, I think we're good.
Watch these videos. Your professor.